Welcome to today's Home Remodeler. I'm Stuart Keith, and on today's show, well, we're walking through the exterior remodeling process. We'll begin by meeting with Andy Lindus from Lindus Construction as he takes us out to a unique project where an old farmhouse is being restored with new maintenance-free products. Next, we'll visit a remodeling project that combines 3 types of siding and a new metal roof to create the ultimate Northwoods cabin. And finally, we'll finish up back at our farmhouse to see how it turned out when the restoration was completed. So we have a lot to cover today, and we'll get started after these messages. There are a lot of challenges when remodeling a farmhouse that's more than 75 years old. How can it be more energy efficient? What can be done to minimize the maintenance? But most importantly for our homeowner, how can you maintain the craftsmanship that was originally built into this home? So let's meet up with our contractor, Andy Lindus from Lindus Construction, as he offers some answers to our questions and walks us through this unique restoration project. Oh, Andy, they're making some beautiful progress on this remodeling project. How old a home is this?
You know, this is about 75 years old, and you're right, they're coming along fine on this house. We're hoping to finish up early next week.
Do you find that working on a 50, 75, 100-year-old home, it presents a lot of challenges to you as the contractor?
Absolutely. When you get into houses this old, there's going to be different things. It's not your standard, just take off the siding and put it on. We're usually running into some rotten wood and fascia and things of that nature.
So what are the homeowner's goals on this? Looks to me to be a major remodel.
Well, when meeting with the homeowner, we sat down, he was talking about how this was the talk of the area 50 years ago when it was first done. And the small detail work on the house is something he didn't want to lose by putting on all new siding. He wanted to maintain the old farm look, so we're doing a lot of the detail work, you know, the decorative moldings in the gable end. So projects like this are really satisfying.
Oh, Andy, here's a good example of just some of the challenges I'm sure you encountered here. A rotted fascia area. How do you handle issues like rot?
Well, you know, when we first sit down with the homeowner and we're taking a walk around the house, we want to try to point out as many of those issues as we possibly can, so there's no hidden cost when it comes down to it, because some of this wood, it can stay, we can just go over the top of it. A lot of it, though, is going to have to come off and get replaced because it's rotten and it's just too far gone to try to salvage.
So what were some of the other goals along with the aesthetic aspect that the homeowners wanted to accomplish?
Well, you know, being that this is an old farmhouse, there's not a lot of room in the walls to put a proper insulation in. So instead of our standard 3/8 inch foam that we usually put on houses, we'll go with the 3/4 inch tongue and groove foam, difference of an R4 to an R6. So you're getting that extra insulation factor, and so hopefully give them a nice warm winter.
Well, that takes care of the wall aspects when it comes to energy efficiency. Were you able to do anything with the windows on this project?
You know, we were, being that this is in a very old home and we're not replacing all the windows, there's little things we can do to make them more energy efficient. Number one being we added some storm windows to the house, creates a dead air space in the winter time and actually cuts down. These old windows are pretty drafty. This makes sure that no air can get in between the house and the windows. Okay, so when you talk about energy efficiency, a huge area of concern, especially in an older house, is the window itself, but not only the window, but the installation of it. Were you able to enhance the energy efficiency around the edges? You know, we talked earlier, we had to build the windows out to accommodate for the 3/4 inch foam, and a lot of this the old sill and the nice decorative molding around the windows was rotten, so it had to be replaced anyways. And by removing all that, we're able to get down to the bare bones of it and actually use our nice window tape to make sure, should any of this stuff ever fail, that window tape is going to be there as a backup to make sure no water or air can get into the house.
Along with infiltration issues, you also mentioned moisture intrusion, and around this side of the home I noticed they took the gutters off. Are they going to install new gutters?
Yes, we are going to put on the new leaf guard gutter system. What they had on before was your typical open gutter with the spike and ferrule system. Never really got a good slope on it, so water overflowed, wiped off all the paint. That's where a lot of the rot issues came on the windows. So put on the new leaf guard to ensure once water gets inside the gutter, it gets away from the house, not into the house.
You know, and that's a good point from a homeowner standpoint. When you're looking at a project, you're remodeling it, you're putting, you know, taking the aesthetic aspects into account, putting new siding, windows. Don't neglect the gutter system, because it seems to me if that moisture's getting behind the walls, you're going to undermine all your energy efficiency efforts.
You know, on a project this big, you know, we try to stay within budget as best we can. And for just a little bit more, you can put on a new gutter system that's going to make sure your investment stays as nice as it was from the day it was installed.
Oh, I really like the scallops up there, and that's the aesthetic aspect we were talking about. You want to maintain that historical aspect. You want to ultimately reach the goals of the homeowner, and that's part of it, the products that you select.
Yeah, he didn't want to make it just look like a big box. He wanted to keep the detail work on the original house. So different things like the scallops, the sunbursts are doing in the front, the detail work around the windows, those are very important to him. And as you see, it turned out quite nice.
Well, you know, on a project of this magnitude with so many different components that are being installed, seems to me a homeowner would get their best value working with a contractor that can handle all aspects rather than piecemealing it.
We actually have Greg and Josh, it's a father-son team. Every time we use these guys on a project, the homeowners are very, very happy. No subcontracting whatsoever. The gutter guys are our guys. The carpentry work that we're doing on the doors and windows for refurbishing, it's our carpenters. So from step 1 to step 200, whatever it takes to get the job done, it's all the same guys.
And part of getting good value on a homeowner side is the customer service at the end. Say you have warranty work, must be nice to have a single point person.
Say 20 years down the road, they have a problem with the siding or the windows or whatever it is. They don't have to search through their files and try to find who they got to call. It's just one person they got to call and we'll take care of it.
Well, you know, let's take a look at some of the products that are going into this project in particular. It looks like this one. Are these the ones that were up in the shakes and the gable ends?
You know, we always try to sit down with a homeowner and show them every option they have available. Not only from an aesthetic standpoint, but different products work well with each other compared to other ones. So it really is a long process. There's thousands of products out there people can put on the exteriors of the home, and you have to sit down and just kind of whittle your way through there, stay within budget, and make sure that everything flows together.
Stay tuned. We'll learn more about selecting products, and we'll see how this farmhouse project turns out later in today's show. But next we'll be heading to the North Woods to check on another remodeling job when we continue with today's Home Remodeler.